What's up, everybody? So, this is kind of overdue. I wanted to make an update video that kind of goes from the convoy to here. So, as if you follow the channel, you know, after the convoy, things have been pretty rough. I've had a lot of crazy situations happen, kind of back to back. And yeah, you know, with the convoy, there was a lot going on day to day, you know, and then even when there wasn't, there was always something happening, whatever. So you know, kind of coming on live from there was not a very big deal. But after the convoy, things just kind of went from bad to worse. You know, I got back and the job situation was looking really rough, and I don't know, things had changed a lot since I had left. And then coming back, it was just like, it was almost like starting a new company. It was just really weird. Everything that I knew and that was running the way it was running when I left was no longer like that. So it was odd, and that was hard to get used to. The guy that I had been working with as my dispatcher for almost 2 years during the convoy ended up leaving the company, and so I no longer had him as a dispatcher, and so they put me with a new guy, and he and I just right off the bat we butted heads, and it wasn't working. So that was happening, so that was stressful. I was in a relationship that was very difficult to try to maintain. There's a lot to that. Not just from the distance point of view, but just trying to make things come together as a relationship would. You know, when you're in a relationship, it's kind of like, you know, buying that new toy. You see it, and even though it's probably not something that you should do, you're like, woo! And so, you know, your mind goes, oh yeah, I gotta have that. So you run to it and you get it, and you know, and then you're playing with it and you're like, ooh, this is fun, right? You know. And then after a little bit, you know, you start getting bugs and glitches, and you're like, wait, what the fuck is this? You know? And, you know, with a drone, it's not that big a deal. But with a relationship, you know, you got to go, okay, how do we address this? You know, we need to figure this out and dial that in. But, you know, sometimes after a while, you realize that it was something you probably shouldn't have done to begin with, and so you kind of let it go. And although most purchasing a drone and using that as an analogy to relationship isn't the best comparison or the most heartfelt one, but it's what I have. Okay, I know electronics, so I can pair my pain to electronics, even in love. So, yeah, so, you know, there was a lot that, you know, if you take a shark and you put it in something the size of, say, a swimming pool, and you fill it with seawater and everything it needs to survive, it will survive. You know, it's not rocket science. You just simply make sure that the oxygen and the water and the salt content and all that is correct, and it'll survive. But that will be a miserable shark because it's used to being in the ocean. You go from the ocean to a swimming pool, and although it'll survive and eat and live a long time, it's not going to be happy. And that's a big thing, you know. that was a huge part of all of this. And yeah, I would survive, and I could play the part, but I wouldn't be happy because I need that ocean. I am that shark. I like to always be going and moving, and to be centrally located would be very difficult. And so luckily the other person was able to, not just that, there was a lot of other things, but she was able to kind of realize all of this and ended it. And although it has, had we have been able to kind of maybe talk through this, we could have, gone through the pain part of it together. But it was just a real shock, like, hey, it's over. And I wasn't prepared for that, even though I felt a disturbance in the force, so I knew that was coming. But I was still a shock, even though it's just like losing my grandmother. I knew things were bad for her, but I didn't realize she was going to tank that quickly. So even though I knew there were problems, it still hurt. And it didn't change with this. So yeah, it's been a lot, between the end of the convoy with the job, and then I lost my grandmother, and now the relationship, and there's been some other smaller things that just with the dispatcher, and it made it tough to want to get online and do live or make videos and try to maintain some sort of happy experience in life, because I just wasn't there upstairs. So as you know, July the 25th, I had some big plans, because everything was going to be rebooting on the channel. However, the relationship aspect of that was a huge part. And now that that's no longer a thing, I don't really see what I would do with the birthday aspect, because I don't normally celebrate getting old. Like, woo, more wrinkles. Yeah, so not only that, but where I was wanting to do it, we were having a lot of legality issues with porta potties and getting a permit and yada yada. And I'm like, okay, this is turning out to be way more than what I wanted to do. I just thought, get together, have some fun, and call it a day. But we would have to switch locations to a park, and at the time, I wasn't actually going to be living there. I was actually in the middle of moving. I know you can't tell right now, but about 70% of my truck is missing and is now unpacked in my house. I kept what I needed to keep rolling and to be able to do what I need to do, but a large portion of things that I normally have in my truck are now in my house, because I was getting ready to move within the next few weeks. So that was going to be a problem as well. If I'm no longer living in Tennessee, how am I going to pull this off in Tennessee? So that became an issue. So for now, I've just decided to cancel the 25th part of it and more focus on trying to get back into my regular life, or whatever that's going to entail now. Missy, do you want up? Come on. So, at any rate, I'm looking at hopefully getting back out west, and I did, I was using a drone as a new analogy, or as a analogy for the relationship. However, I did actually get a new drone. I got the Mavic, the Mini 3 Pro, the DJI Mini 3 Pro, and it is so much faster for grabbing it, getting it calibrated, and getting it in the air. It makes it a lot easier. The screen is fantastic. It looks really good. It's very responsive. It does fly different than the 1 and the 2. I'll give it that. It's I don't know. It's a lot more reactive than the way the other 2 were. I feel like the other 2 were more precise in the movements, whereas when this one's flying, it has a lot more movement to it. Now, originally I thought, oh, that's going to be a problem, but after I did a few test videos, the video itself looks really good. So the gimbal is working with all that movement and making it look good. The shots are nice. So as long as the video looks good, I mean, I guess if it wants to rock and roll in the air, whatever. There's still some settings that I need to play with and kind of get dialed in. There is a setting that allows the way it stops for it to come down and up versus, you know, just slamming on the brakes. It's called a smoothness effect. And so there's a few things I need to do with that. Misty's having fun with the bottle. So there's a few things I want to get dialed in, you know, and that'll happen over just getting it up in the air and playing with the controls a little bit and getting that dialed in. So I want to use that and start making, you know, some videos out west and showing you guys something other than just the windshield. And as far as the lives go, it's really difficult to do the lives, as you know, because of signal issues. So when there's no signal, it cuts out, and then you never know how long it's going to take. And so the lives have kind of become more of a pain in the butt than anything. I don't know, maybe we can kind of figure out a way to do lives from certain areas or something, or go live if I'm at a point of interest. But I don't know, the lives are just a lot more difficult to do rolling because you can't keep a constant signal, and I've got every booster known to God in this truck. As a matter of fact, I actually have a brand new booster, which I told you about. I did get it installed. What I have learned is it does work very well for phone calls, but as far as Wi-Fi goes, it doesn't affect it at all. So it will boost the signal, and normally places that I would drop a call, like the Gorge going from North Carolina to Tennessee, other than the tunnels, I was able to maintain a phone call through the whole Gorge. That's the first time I've ever done that. That's normally not something that you can ever do, but it does work very well as far as the phone portion, but it doesn't do a thing for Wi-Fi or being able to use data. So that wouldn't really help the live at all, just a phone call situation. So I don't know, you know, maybe we can, you can give me some feedbacks, some ideas for what we could do for live. I am going to try to get the channel back up and running and bring you guys new stuff, new places. I'm just not real sure where and how to do that. I mean, doing these videos is a little easier because I don't have to worry about the signal and trying to maintain all the comments that are scrolling. So it's definitely a lot easier for me to just make a video and then post it and say, okay, there you go. You know? So I'm going to try to do more of these videos, and then, you know, we'll go live from time to time and try to make that come back again. I just thought I'd, you know, maybe bring you in a little up to date as to what's been happening and why the videos got so inconsistent. Just going through a lot, you know, personally, and trying to dial that in and do videos, it just wasn't happening. So now that things are kind of stabilizing back out and I'm gonna kind of get back to my old routine, I want to try to make that happen again and see if we can do some of these meet and greets, you know, that I've wanted to do. You know, basically everything YouTube-wise was pretty much going to be done had I have moved, because there would have just been absolutely nothing to do. I can see that now, but I had other ideas in my head that I wanted to try, but I'm pretty sure that in the end it probably wouldn't have gone very far for very long. But since everything's now reverted back to the way it was, that opens up avenues to continue the YouTube and try to get things rolling again to where I had them, and in different ways. Obviously, it's not a convoy, but it'll be out and about and seeing different things. Right now, I'm making the delivery, and I thought this is the perfect time. I'm sitting on the road waiting for trucks to move. I thought, well, let's do it. Let's make this video. So, yeah, it's been a lot. So, although right now I'm still a little raw over the whole breakup situation that just happened yesterday, I'm just trying to hopefully look forward to what will be soon. And with the new drone, being able to get some footage from different locations, I think is going to be a lot of fun. And the fact that I can get it out and up in the air so quickly will break down that time of trying to unpack it, get everything ready. And even though it's not a very long process, mounting your phone and getting it plugged in and getting everything turned on and then calibrated, it does take a while and it's cumbersome. With this, I can just turn both things on, get it calibrated, and I'm up in the air. So it's going to allow me to get things that I would probably lose in a normal situation trying to put everything together. So that should allow me to capture some really cool stuff. I'm looking forward to it. Now, one of the big gripes about the Mini 3 that I've seen so far, pretty much the biggest gripe, is people are saying it doesn't go as DJI said it would, that it's a distance issue. But for the most part, I don't really fly things that aren't, for the most part, in front of me. They might be a couple football fields ahead of me, but as far as running several miles out, I don't really need that as a thing anyway. So I'm not really concerned. Plus, most people have noticed that if you use the Mini 2 controller versus the Mini 3 controller, that you can actually get further out. So if for some reason I did need to get that distance, I could always switch out remotes and grab my Mini 2, hook that up, and then do what I needed to do. But I don't really see that being a major problem, and I have other drones that I can use if I need distance. I have the Mavic Zoom, and that puppy will go, and plus the zoom feature. So yeah, I mean, if I needed that, I have it. But usually the majority of what I shoot is pretty much in front of me, and if it's something I can't reach via distance, I'll try to just put the drone up a little higher and be able to show that shot in a wide type of view, and then maybe come back down towards the ground. And there's different ways that you can do it, either starting up and going down, or starting down and bringing it up into view. So there's different ways to kind of get around the amount of distance that you're trying to cover. It's just a matter of how you show it. So at any rate, that should be fun, and I'm looking forward to that. So I just thought I'd kind of update you as to everything going on and what's been happening and why things got so squirrely. I don't know, I guess as bad as it's gone since after the convoy, I hope maybe to turn that around and bring it back up and start kicking out more videos and showing you different things. And obviously Big Mouth over here. So she'll always be here with me. I guess that's about everything. I needed I needed to make this and kind of let you all know what was going on. I felt like, you know, a lot of you have been with me for a long time, and there's not been a whole lot of answers. I've just, you know, been going through so much in my own head. It's been hard to respond to a lot of it other than just very quick answers. So that's everything. After this run here, I'm not sure where I'm headed to, but if I can get something going back out west, I'm going to try. And as you know, when I'm out west, I feel like I'm able to, I don't know, feel that freedom of just being alive. And so I feel like once I'm out west, I can relax and do what I do, and we can have some fun. I will eventually have to get back to the house and get a few of the things back in my truck that I unloaded. So there's a lot. It took me hours to get all that packed up and put in the house. So now I'm gonna have to go through and figure out, okay, what am I putting back in the truck? You know, there's a few pieces that are out that I definitely need. I put my DJI gimbal in the house, and I definitely need that so I can do my walk-arounds with you and take you to places without having to hold the phone, because that's aggravating. Plus you get that whole walking feeling. Nobody likes that. So yeah, I'll get back to the house, get a few of the things that I need, get them back in the truck, and little by little, hopefully we'll start getting some more videos out. So I guess we'll call this a new beginning, and yeah, let's see where it takes us. So I guess this is the reboot. Not exactly the way I had intended it to go, not even close. But hopefully something that'll work out. So for those of you that decide to see what happens next, I appreciate you coming along. And if for some reason this is kind of gotten to be something you're no longer interested in, I understand that too. You know, it's kind of hard when things are, you know, it's like when they, you know, switch actors in the show. It's like, I don't want to see that anymore. You know, it's just not the same thing. I get that. So if you hang around, I'll see you soon. If not, appreciate you sticking with me as long as you did. We'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye.